Good Tuesday evening, friends. Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well, had good dinner, had a great day, all that fun stuff. Let's look at the news. There's some interesting little things coming out. No really major forward progress as of right now. Obviously, it's all the war. And as we're seeing the war between Iran and let's talk about that for a second, in fact. So, what I've basically heard today is that from within the local U.S. world news and stuff is that the progress of the war, the U.S. is very far ahead. I heard today kind of through the Trump administration that they've taken out most of the critical aspects of their military and everything, like the Navy's gone. Again, then it goes far beyond that. I can't remember everything I heard. I'm just dragging around out to think of everything that they said to share with you. But it was what they're saying is that the overall progress, the U.S. progress within the world, I'm sorry, the U.S. progress in the war against Iran is far ahead of schedule, far ahead of what's expected, that we've taken out most of the critical aspects. Like, I remember their radar system was taken out, a lot of their communications, their Navy, a lot of their troops, a lot of their equipment, a lot like their naval ships were sank. I think they had 11 of them. They sank all those. Again, it goes far beyond that. Anyway, they're just saying that the overall progress regarding the U.S.'s progress in the war is far ahead of schedule. So again, that's kind of why I was suggesting to you guys yesterday, the war itself. I know that yesterday in U.S. more conservative-leaning news was saying the war could take up to or within 4 weeks. I'm thinking right now maybe 2.5. Like I said, around March 17th. That's just a date that was revealed to me many, many years ago, specifically regarding pertaining this investment, the Iraq dinar. I'm not looking at that for the rate change. I'm thinking that could be more of a time when the war ends, okay? Especially with the pace and the progress I see the war moving at, okay? Just wanted to share that with you guys. Let's look at some of today's news and see what's out there. This is where they announce the winning list criterion for the largest bloc. I broke this down in kind of a summary for you guys. The Sovereignty Alliance announced support for defining the largest parliamentary bloc, as is the list that wins the most seats in the election. Again, the most parliamentary seats. So I've already shown you guys factually that was Soudani's bloc, okay? Reconstruction and Development. Soudani's bloc won the most seats in Parliament. I've shown that to you guys. It's just they had said that Soudani had conceded and giving that winning position to Nouri al-Maliki. But there's a twist and turn on that in the news today. So don't just assume Maliki's got this. I've been telling you guys since the very beginning where they said that Maliki's got this. I said, no, he doesn't. Do not trust the news. I was probably one of the only content creators sharing that aspect. Just putting my opinion out there like that, saying he does not have this. He's a scripted delay in this. Give him time. He'll be out. Okay. But again, there's some twists and turns on that aspect of it. Good twists and turns. Okay. So again, it's whoever had the most seats, which was Soudani and his bloc. Zunain suggested clarifying the definition of the largest bloc to prevent political disputes during government formation. Since the federal Supreme Court of Iraq ruling in 2010, the largest bloc could be formed after the elections through alliances inside the parliament, okay? Anyway, if you want to break this down, it's all right there for you, okay? It's more of just a kind of what constitutes the largest bloc and what declares the largest bloc, that kind of thing. It's not telling you who the largest bloc is. Is the coordination framework heading towards extending the Sudanese government? Now, this is an interesting one. It says the spokesman for the Victory Coalition revealed Tuesday that proposals and discussions are underway within the coordination framework and bilaterally regarding the possibility of extending the term of Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's government for a specific period and granting it full powers to address the exceptional security circumstances facing Iraq and the region. Okay. Zubdai told the agency extending the government's term and granting it necessary powers to manage this phase is possible, explaining that the coordination framework, as the largest bloc, capable of achieving a simple majority of the Council of Representatives possesses the legal political capacity to pass the decision should a final consensus be reached among its constituent forces. So obviously it's got to be voted on in Parliament and that kind of thing. It has to be proposed, thought of, and then voted on, okay, as a possibility. So, but they're saying it is a possibility if that's the route Iraq chooses to go. And it just makes the most sense to put Soudani back anyway for Iraq going back on the world stage when the government's formed. Next article. This is where it gets interesting. Again, I told you there's some additional twists and turns. Here it is. The Coordination Framework decides to withdraw Maliki's nomination for Prime Minister. Again, they're saying that the Coordination Framework has decided to withdraw al-Maliki's nomination from Prime Minister. An informed source reported on today, Tuesday, the Coordination Framework decided to withdraw Maliki's nomination for the premiership. The leaders of the Coordination Framework agreed during today's meeting to withdraw Nouri al-Maliki's nomination from premiership. This is what I told you guys. This was all BS. It was a scripted delay. I told you that from day one, very beginning. The official statement will be issued in the coming hours, and the next 2 days will witness intensive meetings in order to agree on a new candidate who enjoys the support of the Coordination Framework forces and the rest of the Sunni and Kurdish political forces. He noted that today's meetings of the framework witnessed the absence of Nouri al-Maliki. Okay. The Coordination Framework, which includes ruling Shiite political forces in Iraq, is witnessing a division over the nomination of Maliki for the next government amid American warnings of the repercussions of his selection, which prompted forces within the coalition to try to persuade him to withdraw in order to preserve the unity of the framework. And here's a second article on that. Remember, I always like to see more than one. The Shiite Framework decides to withdraw al-Maliki candidacy. Right there, you can check it out and read it on the forum. I'm not going to read two of those to you. But they're both suggesting. Now, the current stages require a national decision to finalize the formation of the government after the regional crisis, okay? It says the coordination body is meeting today to finalize the files of the president and the cabinet, okay? Now, it said local media reported today, Tuesday, the Coordination Framework will hold a meeting to discuss repercussions of the war on Iraq in addition to discussing important political issues. The media outlets which were monitored explained the meeting will be held at the home of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia Soudani and will discuss resolving the issues of the presidency and the prime ministership, especially after exceeding the constitutional deadlines and the country entering a stage of political deadlock. Security and political concerns are escalating in Iraq as a result of regional tensions and the ongoing war between the countries in the regions, increasing pressure on the government to provide internal stability and protect the interests of the state. Let's look at this previous one here. The governor of Kabbalah, today, Tuesday, the country is going through security regional crisis. Okay, Iraq needs to expedite the resolution of the government formation. The country is going through a difficult economic circumstances. So yeah, he's just saying they got to get the government formation done as well. Let's look at the next article here. So again, I bundled a bunch of stuff together here. So the coordination body is meeting today to finalize the presidency and the cabinet. Again, there hasn't really been I'll go to the article for you. There just really isn't we already covered that. That was bundled in with the other ones. Okay. It says, Trump and Pavel Talabani call were on the table, high-level meeting in Soleimani. Political Bureau, Patriotic of Kurdistan. Let's look at the key points on this. Patriotic Union of Kurdistan held a meeting today, March 3rd, with Pavel Talabani. The meeting focused on political developments, regional security tensions, diplomatic contacts. Talabani discussed with recent meetings with Tom Barak, Muslim Abdi. The topics were drafting a new Syrian constitution, implementing the January 29th agreement between Syria and Syrian Democratic Forces. Hold on, I don't see anything about Iraq in this, though. Okay. Trump explained the U.S. objectives in the current conflict. He expressed appreciation for the PUC's role in Iraq. Potential U.S.-Iraq partnership dialogue. All right, nothing really significant about here. We're out of that article. Okay. The budget is threatened by escalating deficit. Whatever. That's nonsense. Not credible and true, guys. The government will stand firmly against any party that tries to drag Iraq into conflict. We don't care about all that nonsense. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see if there's anything else really more critical in this. They're saying a real danger threatens Iraq, calls for an emergency parliamentary session. I think this has to do with basically security and economic situations pose a real danger to Iraq, called on the Speaker of Parliament to set a date for an emergency session this week to discuss their economic session, or their economic situation and security because of the looming war within their region around them. All right. So here's one I posted for you guys this morning. And then we might go down one or two more. It says, since the U.S.-Iran war started, Iraq has completely stopped and paused the government formation of their government. Doesn't this confirm the formation is the step that allows Iraq to go international? Look at what good old AI said. Yes, the pause or halt of Iraq's government formation since the U.S.-Iran war began really does reinforce the idea that completing a new government is a key step for Iraq to re-enter the international arena, but it's not the only factor. Here's a clear breakdown, again, posted on the forum for you guys. Check that out. Okay, because I've been telling you guys that if you notice how the government formation magically got delayed around the time that the tension and war started between the U.S. and Iran, and now it's just completely paused and halted, fully suspended, okay? They're not even having sessions of parliament right now. And as you see, a lot of this is due to the war, okay? My thoughts, again, it's my opinion, and I could be wrong. I think the war will probably only last in a duration of 2 to 3 weeks, because on the news, when you listen to how much overall progress they have, they're ahead of schedule on the war, okay? They've taken out a lot, but they have a lot of players in it. They have not just the U.S. and Israel, but additional countries involved in this as well, okay? And I want you guys to go back. Part of the reason I showed you this, because I want you to think about what Trump said. Brian Rice, one of my members, and Brian, you can show people that you're famous on the internet now. He asked a good question. He recently asked, he said, hey, how are we looking for the RV now that the Supreme Leader is gone? And I responded to him. I said, well, we need to finish the Iran war, okay? Iraq needs to finish the formation of their government, then they can change the rate and go international. That's how I answered him, okay? Let's check out the next. We'll stop about right here. So I want you guys to see, and we'll check it live on another screen for you. Basically, I was showing you guys this morning how XRP is doing, and this was as of this morning right here. There's XRP, there's silver, both are down, okay? But I want to show you, I'm going to shift screens here and go to the other screen there. That's where XRP is. I mean, it's at $1.36 right now. It only went up a buck from this, or a penny. I'm sorry, it only went up a penny from this morning. Let's check silver real quick. Silver's at 83.28. So silver went up some compared to from where it was at this morning at 78. See, silver this morning was at 78.75 on the right half, and now this evening it's at 83.15. Okay, let me check. Let's check gold real quick. See where gold's at in the mix here. Okay, so gold went down a little, as you guys see, and then towards the second half of the day it went up to back above back in the higher 5,000 range at 5,137. Let's check one last thing, being the dollar index on this. All right, wow. The dollar index went up. It was been in the 97 range. So, well, there's no, let me, hold on, I'm just going to pull a 5-day view on it. Look at that right there. So yeah, see the dollar, because the dollar strengthening, probably because of the war is strengthening the dollar. That's the reason why everything went down this morning, because the dollar was spiking up. The war's doing that. So anyway, and usually when the dollar goes up, it counters what metals are doing. They're like on a scale. When dollar goes up, that metals go down, metals go up, dollar goes down, vice versa. So anyway, Friends, that's where we're at. Thank you for joining, friends. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all you guys. Have a wonderful evening and take care.